Welcome, everybody, to the Anti-Hustler Weekly Show. Brian Downard here today, running the show solo. But do not fret. I have incredible value and content to bring you, as always. Specifically today, I want to get into talking about the difference between selling high ticket and selling low ticket, which you should focus on, which is better for your business, in my opinion, and really which you should be getting into. So there is not going to be a singular right or wrong answer. I will venture to guess that most of you will arrive at the same answer, but there is a time and place for both. I think the easiest thing that I can kind of do to lay the foundation of the of why is selling high ticket important? Why should you even care? Why does this matter? I feel strongly that if you are in a place where you want to create more financial freedom, you want to create more time freedom and get to the revenue milestones in your business that you are aiming for, it's almost always going to be easier to sell high ticket first. Again, why? Just it's simple math. If you are selling a $2,000 a month offer versus a $200 a month offer, you have to have 10 times the amount of clients at that $200 a month offer just to match the same one client at the $2,000 rate. So just by sheer metrics and math, it makes a lot of sense to start with high ticket because this enables you to get to the higher revenue numbers quicker, which then allows you to reinvest back into the business. Maybe then it makes sense to start selling low ticket. And I also feel strongly there's a bit of a marriage of the two that can come together. You've heard us maybe use the phrase in this community, strategy partner agency, which to us is the combination of having some sort of high value, high ticket done for you marketing service complemented by a lower ticket service as a software. That could be through white labeling, high level, whatever it is you're using with that software to facilitate your high ticket product. I would try as best as possible to not necessarily sell them separately, but have them pieced out as separate offers. Meaning, absolutely, you could sell both of them to one person. However, when they're pieced out and they're separate, you can now use your low ticket offer to sell as a front end down sell on a sales call potentially for someone who's not ready for the high ticket product. And on the back end, let's say you have a marketing agency client churning, they're about to churn $2,000 a month client. That's scary. That sucks. But you have your $300, $400 a month lower ticket software play that they can fall back into and retain at that lower price point. But again, $300, $400 a month is still better than $0 a month. So having this, even though you likely are already using software as part of your business, parsing those out, having them be able to be sold separately and together is going to be a key to a lot of what we're talking about here today. But all that being said, I'm going to share my screen. I created a fun little visual, and I'm really bummed that the Facebook live stream didn't work today because this type of stuff is what gets people's attention on Facebook Live. They're like, oh, cool, shiny colors. I don't know what's behind the box. What does it say behind the box? Well, you're gonna have to hang out with me today to find that out. So I have three different images here. What are these images? These are different sets of beliefs that I know you, everyone here listening live, hanging out, or on the replay, wherever you're listening to this or watching this, I could bet probably any amount of money you are feeling some of these beliefs. And there's three different sets of beliefs that I want to address. First is the vehicle itself. And when I say the vehicle, I'm talking about high ticket. I'm here today talking about the benefits of starting to sell high ticket first versus low ticket. And the vehicle, and you may have some beliefs around, does high ticket work? Could it work for me? And so again, I want to make sure I cover some of those. This little person right here, that's you. This green person's you. And this person is the internal beliefs that you have maybe about yourself and why high ticket could or couldn't work for you. I'm going to address that. And I also want to address any external beliefs you may have around this because we don't start here. And if you don't actually believe in your capability of doing this, you're never going to actually do it. And frankly, for any of you who are a little bit deeper down the marketing rabbit hole and more savvy, this is also, swiped straight up from, and actually matter of fact, very meta from how ClickFunnels educates people on how to just do and run through content. Because I want you guys to understand and believe in yourselves and your capabilities first before I tell you how to actually go do this. Because this group is littered in the best way, the best type of litter. I don't know if there's a good type of litter. I'll say it's the stuff in this group with how-to content, nitty-gritty, in the weeds. Here's an SOP, go execute this. But you also have to have the beliefs. So that being said, let's dive in. We're talking today about the pros and cons of selling high ticket versus low ticket. Let's dive in. So, first thing in terms of the vehicle, a lot of people will claim to think and believe high ticket is harder to sell, right? It's more expensive. It must be harder to sell. And my rebuttal to that would be it's not necessarily harder to sell. How you frame the value of what someone gets from it, though, is the key. And what does that mean? So often we are trying to sell people based on the stuff we are giving to them. Hey, you get missed call text back, you get this AI chatbot, you get Facebook ads, you get blah, 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 all this stuff that is features. They don't necessarily care. When you are selling high ticket, people are not buying features, they're buying outcomes. So if you're selling a lower ticket course, sure, like you may want to sell the feature or the features and the benefits of that and not necessarily a promised outcome. But when you're selling high ticket, when you can go to a company who's making $5 million a year and help them make $500,000 more dollars a year because you introduce a new advertising channel to them, you can charge a premium for that, right? When you made someone $500,000, there is a premium you can attach to your value. So I want you to start looking through the lens of how you're selling. And if you're catching yourself selling stuff, features, and not outcomes, then absolutely high ticket will be harder to sell. But in my opinion, high ticket becomes easier to sell once you understand what people who are buying high ticket are buying. They're buying outcomes. And a lot of times it's not just financial outcomes, it's the time that they are saving by doing it. When you reach a certain caliber of client, they care less about how much money they're making and they care more about how much time freedom they have. So again, like how does your offer, when you are building your high ticket offer, how does it anchor itself to tangible outcomes that it makes your clients, not vanity metrics like likes and views, but how many book calls did they get? How many sales did they make? How much money did they make? And when you can sell your offer based on that, it actually becomes easier to sell, in my opinion, because now you don't have to make up arbitrary values for your value stack. If it's worth this and this and this, it's like, no, it's like, here's on average a result we create for our clients. It can make you a lot of money. You need to do this too. So that's one of the belief shifts you need to consider around selling high ticket. Okay, number two, is it harder to find clients, right? There is going to be a smaller pool of people who can afford to pay the high ticket. So it really, people will often say like, hey, selling high ticket's harder. It's really hard to find those people. And I would say to that, it really depends on where you look. Again, when you are stepping into this idea of wanting to sell higher ticket, and when I say high ticket, I guess I should have drawn a line in the sand where to me, like there's not a hard and fast rule. $2,000 to $3,000 a month would be the bare minimum I would start to consider a high ticket, and a month being like attached to a 3 to 6 month retainer. So on average, a client is paying you, $3,000 a month over 3 months, so $9,000. Not a hard and fast rule, but I just want you guys to kind of be considerate of what I'm thinking there. So sorry for that little aside. But again, this depends on where you look. Now, doing outbound outreach in mass and doing and running Facebook ads are both really great ways to get business. Now, the challenge is it can often feel like that is looking for a needle in a haystack, right? You can't control every single person who's opting into your ads. You can't control, to the best of your ability, every single lead that comes onto a lead list you generate or buy. So to me, it's like you need to, if those are the avenues by which you're generating opportunities, but you're struggling to sell those people high ticket, you need to step up your game in terms of where you are sourcing your leads. My two absolute favorite places are going to be one, referral partners who already have an active, engaged community to sell it to. We're about to roll out a new program. Actually, we rolled it out last week. If anyone wants to hear about that too later, definitely hit me up. I'm happy to give you some details, get you a free trial to check it out. But we have an affiliate partner. We're literally in 30 minutes. I'm about to go launch this product through them because I know they already have access to a top tier client paying a premium for their services. So I know those people are going to have much deeper pockets. Another really good tangible example of this is if you're selling e-commerce. You may be familiar with a platform called Shopify. I'm sure even if you're not, you know what Shopify is. Shopify has a Facebook group called Shopify Plus, and there's a certain threshold for the amount of money a store needs to be making to be in that group. But that becomes a prime example of a place where you have now a pool of potential people in an area, and if Shopify could become a referral partner in some way, amazing. I believe they have an agency program, so you can become BFFs with them. But there's so many examples of this: Salesforce, HubSpot, High Level, all of them, partner with people who already have access to the caliber of clients they want, and that way it gets you easier access. And again, now you can be kind of referred and know who's at the top of the game. And kind of bleeding into my next suggestion here would be niche specific groups and associations. Anyone who's on the leadership boards of those types of communities are always going to know who in their local community is at the top of their game and become incredible referral sources. So really, this is going to become more of a game of getting more integrated intimately in your community. What that looks like is participating face to face at events with niche specific associations, potentially sponsoring those, and really starting to brush shoulders with the premium service providers in your niche. Other people who already have the premium segments of your market, befriend them, have them become referral partners. Hint, hint, lots of trainings we've done on that in this group. That would be my rebuttal to a belief. If you had, are clients harder to find? No, the way in which you find them is different. Cool. So high ticket versus low ticket in terms of revenue, milestones, and timeline. I already talked about this a little bit at the beginning in terms of like the why. This would be the most important reason, frankly, where it's just easier to get to your revenue milestones quicker, and maybe slightly more challenging, again, depending on your offer and how you're framing and depending on where you're looking for clients to find them. But if you are doing it in the ways that I'm describing, you're framing it based on outcomes, you're connecting with and going to the right places, you can get to your revenue milestones and timelines so much faster. I'm going to backtrack for just a moment because this is so important. This idea of like, depends on where you look. When I started my marketing agency, a couple of my initial clients were referred to me by a college roommate. And I very quickly, because of the trust and likability that he had in me, was able to get his stepfather ran a patio furniture business, and one of the biggest in Southern California. I had no business being the marketer of that company at that age with my level of experience. But because they knew me, they liked me, and they trusted me, I got the deal. Not only did I get the deal, it became a sandbox to learn how to get results. And then it was a jumping springboard to being able to be referred to even more high caliber people in that space. So again, like you can circumvent so many, you can all of your competitors for running ads by just going and hanging out with the people, and their likability in you will supersede any lack of experience you potentially have. So I just wanted to go back to that because it's so important. Again, if you're doing this right, you don't have to have the experience. You just have to be a nice, decent human being and be confident in your ability to at least try. And if you aren't confident, get a white label partner. That's a whole other story. So in my opinion, doing high ticket first gets you to your revenue milestones quicker and frees up more availability for you time capacity wise to then later maybe focus on low ticket if it makes sense for your business. And I will tell you a little bit towards the end where this does make sense for your business. Cool. Last note here. Providing a premium or high ticket service allows you to provide a premium result or service. Meaning if you are trying to race to the bottom of the barrel, there is a little margin in your profits and revenue to be able to hire A players who are really going to crush it for your clients, right? Think of like the difference between like a 5-star resort and a motel, right? Yes, it costs more, but the experience is so much more elevated. It's almost like the experience. Let's just do a weird, not weird, but like a I'll play with this example for a second. Let's say one hotel costs $200 a night, the other one's $2,000 a night. Huge difference, 10x difference in price, right? But the experience you get, even at the 10x price rate, is almost always, I guarantee, likely going to be more than 10x the experience you would get at the motel. The motel's going to be gross and dirty, have broken stuff, and not have cable work. The 5-star resort, yes, you paid more, but your experience will be 10x. It multiplies further than just the monetary price attached to that, right? And that's true in marketing, where if you're charging a premium over your competitors, you can now provide a premium service, additional time, energy, et cetera, you can give to your clients, your team members. So this is just a thing I feel very strongly about. If you want to be able to create real impact, create real results, do not nickel and dime, because it will cripple your ability to hire talented people to really support your clients, get them results, and create an amazing experience. So that was the vehicle I just wanted to discuss first. What's up, everyone else kind of hopping on here? Thanks for joining us today, John and Victor. I see a couple of you guys hopping in. Nice to see you. Let's talk next about some of the internal beliefs you may have around selling high ticket, right? So let's open this up. I'm not great at selling. Maybe you feel this about yourself, that you are not good at selling yet. And I'm going to go back again to the idea of how you are framing your offer. You don't have to be good at selling if you have a no-brainer offer. How you create a no-brainer offer, again, hint, hint, lots of those here in the community. Um, Lots of trainings around that. But if you have a solid offer, it will make up for your lack of ability to sell. And frankly, if you're not great at selling, there's a lot of structure that you can learn from us in this community. And I'll drop a little hint here right now. Part of doing the show this week is I want you guys to know about the high ticket closer kit product we just rolled out. We rolled out our first low ticket product. Ironic, right? But the low ticket product around how you sell high ticket. I'm going to show you all of that in just a little bit. I just wanted to seed plant that. So if you're feeling like this, I'm not great at selling. I don't know like what the structure is. How do I present it? How do I get people to pay me? Don't worry, I have all the answers for you. But again, the key here is going to be how you are structuring the offer and the perceived value of the outcome, what the perceived outcome they will get against the investment. Because you're not selling stuff here, you're not selling features, you're selling outcomes. Cool. Next, I don't think I provide enough value to charge more. People won't pay that. Here's going to be a little bit of a sobering, not so sexy coaching advice, which you may need to hear it. You have to deserve what you want. I'll say it again. You have to deserve what you want. And if you want to retain clients and you want to be able to charge a premium, you have to deserve it. How do you deserve it? You have to actually be able to get results for your clients. You might not know how to do that just yet. So I'll give you two avenues. One avenue would be to partner with a white label service provider or a media buyer of some kind, someone who already has the fulfillment mind to get the result. And you can sell based on their past results and experience, of course, with their permission. We have a lot of recommendations for people like that you can find. That would be the first avenue, though. If you don't think you provide enough value, cool. When I say partner, I'm using that phrase lightly. Find someone who you know what their cost to pay them to do the work is. Bake that into your cost of doing business. Great. Now we're off to the races. Now we can go sell their results to our potential clients. Other half of this, again, sometimes people get all in their feelings about when we share this type of advice, like I should need to charge for something. Maybe if you aren't good enough at what you do, you need to massively discount what you're doing, maybe even offer it for free to a couple of people just to get your foot in the door and to get the experience, right? And then maybe the first 3 to 5 you do for free. The next 2 to 3 you do 80% off. The next 2 to 3 are 60% off, 50% off, and you work your way up until you kind of find that glass ceiling of what the market can bear against what type of value you can actually bring to your clients. And again, like if you're doing services, and I'll make a blanketed statement, so please bear with me and give me grace if you're selling one of these things. But things like social media management or design services, it's very hard to anchor the direct ROI and tangible outcomes that would allow someone or make someone want to stay and retain with you and then pay that premium price over and over again versus all contrasts. Like let's say you're doing social media posts for clients and you let them know how many likes they got in a week. Contrast that with one of our clients, Larry. He gets access to the QuickBooks accounting software for all of his clients, and he matches every single month. He matches the leads they generate for them against their closed deals. So he can show them every single month how much money he actually made for them. Imagine how different your confidence in your ability to sell and how confident your prospects would be in you if you could show them hard, cold data on cash of how much money each of your clients collected. It's a complete game changer. So you may need to up the ante in terms of what you are bringing to the table and selling and providing as an outcome. And make sure that that's the outcome they expect. Because if they're expecting one thing, but they get another, again, they're going to churn. You won't be able to provide that or service or sell that for very long. So again, just a couple of considerations. All right, let's keep rolling through this. By the way, I saw a number of other people hop in here. Just so I know that this is hitting and resonating, drop a 7 in the chat for me, just so I know you're here, you're listening, and this is helpful. I like John's picture with his thumb up. I'm just going to take the perpetual thumbs up as I'm doing a great job. John, I love you. John, drink water. And Victor, cool, perfect. And the smile, double thumbs up. I'm here for it. All right, so let's keep going through this. That was a duplicate. My bad. This is what happens when you do things on the fly. I'm not perfect. Cool. So it's easier. I'm going to make some edits here on the fly. It's easier for me to sell low ticket and not get rejected. Here was my rebuttal to that. When you are selling high ticket, it actually gives you more margin to negotiate. When you're selling low ticket, you have to be so certain that your profit margins are on point and you're not going to go upside down or break even trying to deliver the product or service. So, what I would argue is you know what your cost to deliver the services, great. Um, you know roughly what you could charge for this because of the amount of value you bring, but somewhere in the middle lies what the minimum you would be willing to charge for this is. So let's say it costs, I'm going to do really simple math here, $400 a month to deliver your service, right? So at a minimum, we want to be charging $1,000. That's that 40% fulfillment cost equation we've talked about here before. But so it only costs you 400, but you're going to charge $1,000 because that's the minimum just to break even. But you make your clients stupid amounts of money. So you know, hey, I can charge $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month for this. Great. You're charging $3,000 a month, but you know your minimum is 1K. Now you got on a call with a lead, you're pitching the 3K offer. You can negotiate back down to 1K. I wouldn't go that low, but it gives you far more margin and flexibility to make a deal, to get someone over the finish line. And you don't have to commit to that price forever. It could be on a trial basis of, hey, I really want to get you involved, so I think we can really support you. So let me make this a no-brainer. Why don't we, for the first 2 months, do it at $2,000 a month? We'll prove to you that this works, and then we'll roll into the $3,000 a month price point after the fact. So selling high ticket gives you more margin to negotiate. And I think bluntly too, and this is something I really want you guys to hear, where even if you got, I'm not going to call it an ego. Let's just say you like have this belief, like I need to charge what I'm worth. Like I wouldn't do any work for free anymore. I don't do that anymore because I paid my dues and I've earned that. I would say to that, when you are approaching higher value targets, you need to be more willing to make a deal. And I'm talking specifically like Dream 100. We coach a lot about how to create a Dream 100 client list and do outreach to them. But let me tell you a quick story. One of our clients, Logan Hawley, was newer in the insurance space and he wanted to roll out his high level white labeled software. Right? A lot of people rolling out some version of a high level. And even though he has a marketing agency working with insurance agents, getting good results, making a lot of money, he, instead of trying to go sell this immediately, he went to two top producing insurance agents who ran separate companies. I think one company had like 80 employees and the other had like 200 employees. And he went to those people and he gave them his software for free because he knew, and the agreement was like, hey, I want to give this to you guys for free, which I'm normally going to be charging X amount for because I know it's so valuable. And what I would ask you is, one, use it, two, give me feedback, but three, I want to, once you see how valuable it is, you to refer me to the agents you have underneath you, right? So again, Logan could have tried to sell this for whatever his price point was to those people, but he knew it was more valuable to give it away for free to get his foot in the door because he, in less than 3 months, created $60,000 of recurring revenue from all of the agents they referred to his product. So I would say, again, be willing to negotiate. When you charge a premium high ticket service, you have more margin to do that. So let's keep going through this, guys. Thank you so much for your time and energy today. Hopefully this is helpful. Let's talk about some of the external beliefs you likely have around selling high ticket. An external meaning things that are happening in the marketplace, things are happening in the world, things around you you can't control. One of them being crazy guarantees. This is an uphill battle that a lot of us are facing in the marketplace right now. People are trying to out guarantee each other where they're literally promising their firstborn child as like guarantees. Like it's craziness. So to me, this one is challenging because there's a very fine line I want to toe. And this is going to be based on preference. Mostly because I don't personally, it's a personal belief that I have and a personal call it morals. I don't know what the phrase is I'm digging for, but I feel really strongly that it's disingenuous to make a ridiculous guarantee if there are a bunch of unreasonable asterisks attached to it that will never allow them to get the guarantee if you only did that for marketing for a marketing sake, right? Where I am okay with a guarantee is if you have reasonable, fair conditions that if they actually follow and do, they can't not get the result. So you can play with the guarantee, but I actually lean the other way sometimes, and our clients will are testing a lot of this and get great results this format of doing the anti-guarantee, basically telling people and calling out this idea of throwing stones, right? I know Victor, you're a ClickFunnels guy, so you're awesome award back there. Like throwing stones at the people who do offer crazy guarantees because people are getting tired of it. Business owners are tired of getting burnt by agencies who promised this some ridiculous thing and never actually gave them the guarantee and never even got close to the result. So I think we're in a little bit of a change up in the marketplace where enough time has passed that people have been doing this ridiculous thing long enough now where you can um, you can start to par this back and throw rocks to the people who are doing it because they feel this. They are fed up with it. It is a pain point that they have. And you can agitate in the copy of your ad of, hey, are you tired of these run-of-the-mill marketing agencies making that are all bark and no bite and actually and don't get anywhere near the crazy results they're guaranteeing? Here's what I'm going to guarantee you. We're going to bust our ass and get incredible results because on average, here's what our clients are seeing. Here's what a case study on one client that did 10 times the average result. So you can flex the credibility of what you can accomplish, not don't lean on and rest on the strength of your guarantee. Now, again, I think guarantees work. They're really smart. You got to use them the right way and don't use them disingenuously. Okay. But that's how I would be dealing with kind of what's going on in the marketplace. Choose one of those two avenues. All right. Next, people are only looking for cheap solutions. I would say to this again, where are you looking? A lot of times, and I'll throw BNI under the bus for a second. I think the local networking groups are amazing. I think they're a great place to start, find people and network. But more often than not, you're going to find beginners, startups in there, people who haven't actually figured out their own product or service yet. They don't really have a product market fit. And they put so much of a burden on you to have to solve all that for them when it was never a good product or fit to begin with, right? So to me, it's like if you are constantly finding people who are only looking for cheap solutions, who are broke, who do not have enough money to afford what you are selling, I'm going to go back to where are you looking? Where are you fishing in the right ponds, or are you fishing in the pond that's right outside of the factory dumping all the chemicals into the water and the fish are coming out with like 3 eyeballs and you want to go to the pristine pond, and this is a stupid, weird metaphor, I know, but it's true. Where you fish will determine what kind of fish you catch. It's obvious, I know, but you really need to reassess if you aren't getting the type of quality of leads you want, where you're fishing. Next, two more things. The economy is tough right now. If you're in the States, I know it's, a lot of different places around the world having challenges. Interest rates are really high right now. Cost of homes are up, cost of goods is up, inflation, blah, so many scary things. There's all this fear mongering in the media, frankly. Some of it's very true for sure. But again, what I would lean into is this idea. If you want to have a recession-proof business, then solve rich people's problems because it doesn't matter what the economy looks like. Rich people have money and they're spending it. And when I say rich people, this would be, again, the premium segments of your market. How can you really integrate yourself into the premium segments of the market? Easiest way is to participate in person, sponsoring those events, going, shaking hands with the top players in your space. And it's not that hard, right? People need what you guys are selling, and they don't want to talk to internet strangers about it all the time. They want to meet someone cool they like in person who's similar to them, who likes hunting like they do, or whatever similarities you may have. This is key, guys. Going and brushing shoulders with those people. Again, I'll tell you a quick story. One of our clients, August Malazzo, paid $5,000 to sponsor an event for business brokers. He went and met a bunch of people there on the leadership board of that community. They liked him so much, they gave him it was called a member benefit, basically a scholarship to be a member of the community, not having to pay because they liked him so much and how much value he added. All he had to do was sponsor one event, and now he's got unlimited access to this community. So again, guys, like, go to the place where the top people in your market are hanging out. It's likely not always going to be the places most people are spending that time. But I feel strongly like when you can solve rich people's problems, and I'll say this in a different way. Help winners win more. It's very difficult to get someone, in a business owner or an entrepreneur, in a losing position to get them to a winning position. That is way too much of a burden on you. You want to take someone who's already doing well and help them do even better. And it's said a different way. It's easier to go from 1 to 10 than it is to go from 0 to 1. If you constantly find yourself working with people who are at 0 trying to get to 1, they will keep you stuck. And they may be friends, family, people you like, whatever you want to call business associates, or people like personal connections you have. But it sucks to say these people will hold you back because they need you to figure it out for them. They haven't figured it out themselves. That's a hard position to be in. We're not talking about like private equity startups with hundreds of millions of dollars of backing and they're just throwing money around. Cool. If you can find some of those opportunities, by all means, go get them. But for the most part, focusing on a premium segment of your market and the people who have money and already successful businesses, you just make it that much more successful, is going to make your life and your business a lot easier. All right. Finally, these people are hard to get a hold of. True. They are hard to get a hold of. Because typically they are going to be running bigger businesses. There are more layers to reach them. But very similar to, depending on where you look, this is going to depend on what strategy you are using to get in front of them. So one of my all-time favorites, and before I even share that strategy, let me explain my thought process. The higher value the target is you're doing prospecting to, the more frequent and diversified touch points you need to have. So let me explain. If you're working with business brokers like August, there's only a couple thousand of them in America, right? There's not that many business brokers. So if you are wanting to just send one email blast at one time to everyone, you exhaust it. It's done. It's gone. But if you were, say, to be working with real estate agents, not a great niche right now. Some people are crushing it. They're pivoting, but a lot of people in real estate are not crushing it. I know some agencies who are. It's up in the air right now for sure, to say the least. There's so many real estate agents. You could get away with just churning and burning through an email list, sending one-offs, and eventually with enough volume, you'll get some positive responses back. We're talking about dream clients, high value, high ticket clients. I want to, and on the flip side, just imagine you only had one person to get a hold of. What would you do? You would do anything. You would send them a letter. You'd send them a gift box. You'd go to their house and pick up their kids for them from school and then hold them ransom. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. But my point is, the higher value the target is, the more you need to do to get in front of them. So the interview offer is one of my favorite ways to do this. The interview offer is very simply offering to feature them in an interview series because you admire what they're doing. And you don't even have to have a podcast. You don't even have to have a show, a Facebook group, a list. You can just make that ask. Oftentimes people won't even ask. People love to talk about themselves. They love feeling appreciated and validated for what they're doing. So I can go to someone and say, hey, Bob, I would love to feature you in our weekly show and platform you in your community. Would that be cool? Can I get you into this in this interview series? Now we can leverage that to forge a relationship and leverage the rule of reciprocity for once the interview is done. Now we can look at what other additional ways we can add value. Here's how I would do that. Bob, thank you so much for your time today. On this call, you actually brought up this challenge you guys are facing with XYZ in the business. That's actually something we do really well at our business. And as a thank you for your time today, would it be cool if we hop on a separate call where I give you a couple of ideas you guys could maybe use and run with for fixing that problem? So again, ideally, you want to be able to call out a problem they had, extend the olive branch and ask for permission to help, but you leverage the rule of reciprocity because you just did something really, really nice for them. You feature them on this interview series. So now you can make your ask, right? That's one of my favorite ways to get a hold of these people. But yeah, guys, this was the training today. I really wanted to go through the benefits and the pros and cons of selling high ticket versus selling low ticket. So that being said, I'm going to stop my screen share for just a second. And I want to share with everyone here something we've been working on behind the scenes at POD for some time now. This, frankly, is the biggest no-brainer offer we've ever put together for any of our content or resources. We here have just launched, oh dear, that is not it. This is our tracking sheet. Okay, cool. So the high ticket closer kit. And it's low ticket. Ironic, right? Brian, you just told me all about the benefits of selling high ticket. Now you're going to go make me buy some low ticket and blah, blah, blah. Why would you do that? Again, low ticket is great. there's a time and place for it. Bluntly, and why we're doing this specifically, and I'm going to drop the link I just did. Is because running ads is expensive. I don't want to scare anyone, but we're entering a political cycle, which is scary on its own this year. Ad costs are going to get very, very expensive. And we at POD are wanting to combat that and want to liquidate our ad spend before we have to get someone to pay to be in our program, right? So the idea is when you get to a place in your business where, hey, I'm starting to put out a lot of money to acquire clients. There's another version or another phrase of SLO. It's client financed acquisition. And basically what that means is your ability to get within the first 30 days a client to pay you back for acquiring them as a lead and a customer. If you can solve that, there's an unlimited amount of money you can spend on ads. So again, here's the difference for us at POD. It's either we have our high ticket programs, $3,000 a month. There's a little bit of an in between coming out. We'll get to that, not on this call, but seed plant. It's very hard to run Facebook ads and then just get people into a $3,000 a month program. At best, we can break even, maybe make a little bit of profit. So instead, don't have people opt in for free. We're selling them this product through ads. Again, you guys can go pick this up right now. Check it out if you want to learn more in depth on how to sell high ticket products, because that is what I believe you should start with and you should focus on if you're looking to get more money, grow your business quickly. Start there, and then you can kind of peek behind the curtain about why are we doing this. So our goal is when we run ads to this is to make back 80 to 90% of our ad spend on the front end. So again, let's say we're spending 10 grand a month on ads. I think we're about $6,000, $7,000 a month right now on ads. We want to amp that up. Let's say it's 10,000 for simple math. I want to make at least $8,000 to $9,000 back before anyone becomes a customer in our high ticket program, just to get them as leads on our list. So this is where low ticket offers can start to benefit you guys, right? And I also touched on this at the beginning of the show, which I'll mention one more time. As agency owners, your low ticket continuity play should likely be a high level SaaS software feature or tool of some kind, right? Where again, you can have that now and you're likely already selling it. You just parse it out a little differently, where it could be a downsell, it could be a retention mechanism on the back end when clients churn the marketing service. But it's a really easy avenue you could probably tap into right now to start to take advantage of low ticket offers through a high ticket funnel. But yeah, guys, this was the show today. If anything, and you guys are at a place like, Brian, I want to make more money. How do I do that? Go pick up that product. It's a no-brainer. It's $27. Yes, there are a couple of upsells in there along the way. I'll give you a hint right now. If you don't take the upsells on the next page, as I like you guys here hanging out on the show, you get the benefit of hearing this. Hint, hint, the downsell pages are the same products. It's a little bit discounted. So but Victor, you'll like this. It's not all bullshit and smoke and mirrors. We do remove some bonuses from the downsells, so it's not all smoke and mirrors and bullshit. But if you do want a little bit of a lower price on some of them, we chip away at the price. Go check it out, guys. It's $27 if you just want to pick up the high ticket closer kit. Frankly, more value than we packed into anything we've ever sold before, and that's with the intention of like, hey, let's blow these people's minds. Let's get you guys to make some money, and you'll want to come work with us in our other mentorship programs. So that is what I have for you guys today. Thank you so much. Go check it out. I'm going to screenshot everyone who's here right now. Haha, it's too late. You can't leave. I'm going to follow up with you personally, and I'll catch you guys all on the show next week. I'll see you 3:15 p.m. Eastern. Until then, cheers. Cool.